In front of everyone, the girl took off the cheap jacket her father had bought her, slipped off the canvas shoes she had worn and patched for 3 years, picked up the only doll her mother had ever given her, and walked away without looking back. Seeing his daughter leave so decisively, her father finally felt a hint of guilt, not knowing he had brought all of this on himself. Because after the girl's mother died, her father went almost crazy and blamed everything on her, thinking if his wife hadn't gone out to buy her a cake, she never would have died in that accident. From then on, he locked the girl every day in a dark, damp room with no sunlight, forcing her to reflect on her mistakes and atone for her mother's death. Even worse, her father soon brought home a girl who looked somewhat like her mother and treated her like his own daughter. That girl had fancy meals every day and all of her father's favoritism, while the real daughter could only live like a servant, eating their cold leftovers. When that manipulative girl caught a tiny cold, her father nervously brought in every doctor in the city to take turns watching her. But when his own daughter had a 104-degree fever and lay in bed for days, he never once came to see her. For over 10 years, her father never forgot that girl's birthday, yet he never once celebrated his own daughter's. He even announced at that girl's birthday party that his only daughter was her. Because in his heart, the girl was a sinner who didn't deserve his love at all. Because of her father's attitude, everyone treated the girl like she didn't matter. At the party, they even ordered her around like a maid and told her to go wash their cars. Her father clearly saw them humiliating his own daughter, but he just watched coldly, unmoved. Not only did he not stop them, he even pushed her to do it. "What are you standing there for? Today is Yi Yi's birthday. Don't upset her and her classmates." How could I forget? In Shenmo's eyes, I'm a murderer, a lowly servant who doesn't even deserve a birthday. Facing this humiliation, the girl still didn't fight back. Because her father had said that if she upset him, he would cut off her living expenses and stop her from going to school. But the girl had promised her mother she would get into the best university, so she didn't want to give up. Thinking of that promise, she swallowed her anger and went to wash their cars. But that vicious manipulator still refused to let her go. To drive the girl out completely and become her father's only daughter, she started framing her in front of everyone. She claimed the girl was jealous of her beautiful dress and had secretly tried it on the night before. But last night, it was clearly that girl who had worn her mother's dress on purpose to show off. The girl only tried to take it back because she didn't want her mother's dress ruined, and that was why she was hated. Now she twisted the truth and accused her instead. But no matter how desperately the girl explained, her father believed she was lying. Blind and heartless, he ordered the girl to apologize to that manipulative girl at once. Hearing that, her father slapped her hard across the face. From that moment on, the girl was completely disappointed in him. If he could hit her today for a girl with no blood relation to him, then cutting off her tuition was something he could definitely do. He might even throw her out. Sure enough, his favoritism showed itself completely. And that manipulative girl immediately put on a fake innocent act, adding fuel to the fire. The girl finally couldn't take it anymore. She snapped and slapped her hard across the face, because she had had enough of that girl using a face that looked like her mother's to manipulate her father. And her father never expected his biological daughter, who had never lost her temper, to actually fight back. Furious, he cut ties with the girl on the spot and cruelly kicked her out, refusing to recognize her as his daughter anymore. The last bit of family affection left in the girl's heart disappeared in that moment. Rather than stay in this cold, loveless home, she would rather leave and drift outside on her own. But just as the girl was about to leave, the manipulative girl's friend, who had been watching the drama, stepped out and stirred things up, saying that since she had cut ties, she had to leave behind everything that belonged to the Shen family. Even if the clothes she wore weren't designer brands, the Shen family had paid for them so she couldn't take them, and her father stood beside them, cold as a stranger from beginning to end. The girl no longer wanted anything to do with them, so she took off the patched clothes she had worn for 3 years, along with the canvas shoes she had worn for 3 years without replacing, and returned them all. Remember this, you're not kicking me out. I, Shen Yu, am cutting all ties with the Shen family right here, right now. With that, the girl walked away without looking back, holding the doll her mother had given her, leaving this home full of disappointment behind. But just then, her phone suddenly rang. When she took it out to answer, she was shocked to see that the call was from her mother. The girl froze. Her mother had clearly been gone for a full 10 years, and that phone had never rung again. She couldn't believe her eyes and thought it had to be a prank. But then she wondered, what if it really was her mother calling? So she answered without hesitation. And the next second, she heard the voice she had missed more than anything. Happy birthday, baby. Long time no see. Mommy misses you so much. Seeing the girl in the wheelchair about to get slammed by a speeding truck,